I feel something strange the moment I walk into my parents' house. The air feels heavy, like right before a storm. Mom smiles too big when she takes my coat, and Dad's handshake feels too strong. My sister Autumn looks overly excited, her eyes moving quickly between our parents with a secretive look I've known since we were kids. "Sierra, honey, we're so glad you came," Mom says, guiding me to the dining room. Her hand presses firmly on my back as if pushing me forward. The table is set perfectly with Mom's best china, crystal glasses, and fresh flowers. Clearly this was planned. I sit in my usual place across from Autumn. Her smile reminds me of when she was little and loved playing tricks on me. Dad cuts the roast beef carefully, while Mom serves potatoes, green beans, and my favorite rolls. Then I see it, a manila folder next to Dad's plate, partly hidden under his napkin. My stomach tightens. "How's the clinic?" Mom asks in a cheerful but fake voice. "Still working long hours?" "Business is good," I answer simply, noticing Dad glance at the folder. "We've increased patients by 20% this quarter." Autumn snorts. "So many patients, but such a tiny waiting room. Someone should really improve your office." The truth begins to form in my mind, a puzzle I don't want to solve. Dad clears his throat and sets his fork down with a loud clink. "Sierra, we've been thinking about the future of your clinic." I freeze, food turning tasteless in my mouth. Mom adds quickly like it was practiced. "Family businesses need family management." "It's not a family business," I reply carefully. "You built it with our support," Dad argues, reaching for the folder. "And Autumn has a great plan for everyone." Autumn straightens proudly. "I made a business plan to become your practice manager. I'll do all the boring paperwork while you focus on patients. I only want 25% of the profits, which is fair for the growth I'll bring." My heart pounds. This is no family dinner. It's a trap. Memories hit me. Working double shifts in the hospital cafeteria during school, sending money home to help Autumn in college while I lived on ramen. Long nights studying after 14-hour shifts. Student loans of $187,000 that still drain me each month. "I already have a clinic manager," I say steadily. Mom waves her hand. "But Autumn is the people person. Remember how she charmed Dr. Wilson at your clinic opening? He barely noticed you." I remember. I also remember Dad ignoring my honors at graduation, posing Autumn in my cap and gown. I remember Autumn's time at the front desk last summer, giving discounts to her sorority friends and causing scheduling chaos I had to fix for weeks. "May I see what you've prepared?" I ask, nodding to the folder. Dad pushes it across the table, smiling. "It's already written by my lawyer. Just sign it. I can start tomorrow," Autumn says excitedly. "I already have ideas for redecorating your office." I take a slow sip of water, then put the glass down carefully. I reach for my own briefcase beside my chair. "Before we go further," I say, "there's something you should see." The room goes silent as I unlock the briefcase. Dad's confident smile fades when I pull out a leather portfolio, the one I bought after winning the Denver sports medicine contract. A reminder of what I've achieved without their help. "What's this?" Dad asks, his voice shaking slightly. Mom looks uneasy, her fingers twisting her napkin. Autumn's smile begins to fade. I place my papers neatly on the table. 3 weeks ago, I signed a management agreement with Colorado Healthcare Partners. They now handle all the clinic's administration. Dad frowns, reaching for the papers. "You can't make decisions like this without family." "Actually, I can." I slide another document toward him. "I highlighted section 4.3 for you. No family members can work in management unless the whole board agrees," I say. The board is me and 2 partners from CHP. Autumn's face turns red. "You planned this on purpose." "I made a business decision," I reply, keeping eye contact with her. "Based on past experience." I pull out another folder from my portfolio, patient complaint forms from last summer when Autumn worked at my clinic. I don't even need to open it. The thickness shows enough. 15 scheduling mistakes that double-booked rooms. 23 unauthorized discounts, 8 to your sorority friends. 31 billing mistakes that almost caused an insurance audit. Mom reaches toward me, her fingers stopping just short of mine. "Sierra, honey, everyone makes mistakes when they're learning." "These weren't learning mistakes," I say, standing up. I feel stronger looking down at them. These were careless mistakes by someone who thought rules didn't matter. I pull out another document, this one from my accountant. This lists $42,000 in free treatments I gave this family in the last 3 years. Dad's shoulder rehab, Mom's foot treatments, Autumn's massages before her vacations. The silence feels like victory. Their faces change from smug to shocked. While I paid for your care, I lived on ramen to pay my student loans. I worked extra shifts to help Autumn with college. When you said you couldn't afford both our schooling, I looked straight at Dad. I slept on treatment tables because I couldn't afford rent and malpractice insurance. My phone buzzes with a text from my clinic manager. Did you tell them yet? The timing is perfect. A reminder that I'm not alone anymore. My staff saw Autumn's chaos last summer. They stayed late fixing her mistakes while she posted happy hour photos online. They know the truth. My mentor once told me family and business mix like oil and water, I say, remembering Dr. Winter's worried face when she found me crying in the supply closet after Dad skipped my clinic's grand opening. I should have listened sooner. I carefully put the papers back into my portfolio, one by one. The order calms me, like organizing supplies before a tough patient case. We can negotiate, Dad says, his strong voice now weak, like a man losing a deal. 20% instead of 25. A trial period. I snap my portfolio shut. My clinic isn't your piggy bank. It's my career. Mom gasps, hand at her throat, her favorite dramatic gesture. I never thought you'd put business before family, she whispers. Her words reveal the truth. To them, my success is for their gain, not mine. I'm not putting business before family, I say firmly. I'm putting boundaries before being used. Autumn pushes her chair back hard. You're always so dramatic, Sierra, pretending you did everything alone when we've always supported you. Supported me? I raise an eyebrow. When? At my graduation, when Dad photographed you in my cap and gown. At my clinic opening. When Mom told Dr. Wilson I was just the medical help. Or maybe my 12th birthday, when I got a card and Autumn got a new bike. Or my valedictorian ceremony, when no one showed up because Autumn had a cold. I zip my briefcase. Your support has always been missing when it mattered. Dad stands too, but his height no longer scares me like it did when I was a child. You've changed, Sierra. Success made you cold. No, I answer without looking away. Success made me visible, and you don't know how to handle a daughter you can't ignore. I lift my briefcase, surprised how light it feels compared to the weight I've carried for years. For the first time since I arrived, I breathe deeply without pain. I'll see myself out. At the door, I pause. And starting next month, family treatments will be billed at regular rates. Our charity program is for patients who can't pay, not for people who don't want to. Behind me, I hear Mom's sharp breath, Dad's muttered curse, and Autumn's fake sob. But this time, their drama doesn't pull me back. I step into the evening air. My phone buzzes again with another message from my clinic manager. We're all here for you. For the first time in my life, I believe it. That night in my apartment, memories return. On my 12th birthday, a normal Tuesday in April, I was proud of acing a math test. At breakfast, there was only a single card beside my cereal bowl. 2 weeks later, Autumn turned 10 and got a shiny teal bike with streamers and a basket. I watched from the porch as she wobbled around the driveway while our parents clapped and cheered. Sierra, take a picture of your sister, Dad said, handing me his camera. This is important. Mom waved a handkerchief like Autumn was a princess. Later, while helping Mom wash dishes, I asked, Remember when I got my first bike? She paused. You were a practical child, Sierra. You always wanted books instead. But I hadn't. I had circled bikes in catalogs for years. High school graduation came with honors, valedictorian, a science medal, and a full scholarship to Colorado State. The auditorium buzzed with proud parents holding flowers and cameras. Mine arrived 7 minutes after my speech, slipping quietly into the back row. Traffic was terrible, Mom whispered afterward, empty-handed. But we're here for Autumn's dance recital tonight. You're coming, right? It was always the same. In college, my Dean's List certificates were mailed home, left unopened for weeks while I worked extra shifts in the cafeteria. At physical therapy school graduation, I stood alone after the ceremony until Autumn found me. There you are, she said, grabbing my cap. Dad wants pictures of me in this. You don't mind, right? For 20 minutes, my parents photographed her wearing my cap while I stood with my honors cords and diploma case. Later, Dad returned it with barely a glance. Book smarts don't build practices, Sierra. 4 years later, I was hunched over my laptop at midnight in the clinic. The loan balance glared back, $187,000, with monthly payments higher than rent. That same day, I sent Autumn $200 to cover her housing crisis after her 4th job change in 2 years. My own apartment still had furniture from sidewalks, a wobbly coffee table and a couch that never lost its smell. My stomach growled in the silence. That morning, the bank manager had rejected my business expansion loan. "Without a cosigner or more collateral, we can't approve this," he said. My parents refused to cosign, but had bought Autumn a new car the month before because she needed reliable transportation for interviews. That night, I slept on a treatment table in the dark clinic, wrapped in a patient blanket after 16 hours of appointments and paperwork. The cleaning crew found me at 5 a.m., still holding spreadsheets. 6 months later, Healing Hands Physical Therapy finally opened in its own space, not just a rented room. My parents stopped by for 15 minutes between Autumn's bridal shower and dinner reservations. "It's nice," Mom said, checking her watch. "Like a real doctor's office." Dad glanced at my framed degree. "Remember, it's always about people, not papers." They left before the reception, missing the toast and the ribbon-cutting photo. That summer, Autumn worked at the front desk and turned it into chaos. Her friends got free discounts. Patients had their appointments moved or canceled. Insurance forms sat in drawers until I discovered them late at night. "They were boring," Autumn shrugged. "Besides, old people don't have anywhere important to be." After she left, I spent weeks calling patients, apologizing one by one. The turning point came with a Blue Shield representative. She had rejected our last 3 claims. "Ms. Bennett, your documentation doesn't meet standards." I slid a folder across the desk. "These are revised protocols I made, cross-referenced with your manual." Her eyebrows rose. "You did this yourself?" "Every night for 3 weeks. Most providers just argue or quit," she said bluntly. 3 days later, all our claims were approved. Soon, doctors referred more patients, impressed by our results. After 2 hard years, we finally had our first profitable month. That night, I checked the numbers 3 times before I believed them. I celebrated alone, but the silence felt powerful, not lonely. I realized something important as I locked the door. My invisibility has become my strength. While my family focused on Autumn's charm and social life, I worked quietly to build something real. The skills I learned from relying on myself, persistence, precision, planning, are now the base of my growing business. Ellie Morgan, my clinic manager, proves this when she turns down a higher-paying hospital job to stay. "They don't value people like you do," she tells me, tearing up the offer. "I've worked in healthcare for 30 years, Sierra. What you're building here is special." When Autumn's mistakes caused chaos, my staff stayed late, ordering pizza and finishing the backlog. "We've got this," Carlos, my lead therapist, said. "Your sister's sure, but we're a team." Every Friday morning, staff meetings start with everyone sharing challenges and victories from the week. Every voice matters, even the cleaning staff. It's so different from family dinners, where my voice was ignored. One Tuesday afternoon, I got a call from Denver Rehabilitation Center's director. "We've seen your patient results. Our orthopedic department wants to discuss a partnership." That night, 9 of us, no longer just 3, gathered after hours to celebrate. We toasted with plastic cups and grocery store cake. "To Sierra," Ellie said, "who saw possibilities when others saw limits." Later, I lifted my first business license from its frame, tracing the seal with my fingers. Tomorrow I'll hang it in our bigger reception area. A reminder, being overlooked sometimes lets you build something no one expects to last. 6 weeks after the family confrontation, my office window shows Denver's skyline. But I turn my desk toward the treatment floor. I prefer watching Meredith guide Mrs. Hoffman through stroke recovery. Her patience shows the heart of real healing. My office is modest, a second-hand desk, a simple chair. Patients deserve the newest equipment, so I reinvest every dollar where it matters. On my wall hangs the original Healing Hands sign, saved from our first space. We've grown from 3 rooms to 15, from me alone to 15 therapists who share my vision of patient-first care. My phone vibrates again. Mom's 3rd call today. I silence it. Lately, she mixes guilt. We never see you, with fake business talk. Have you thought about senior discounts? Dad even tried calling my accountant last week. Yesterday, Autumn showed up unannounced, waving a folder of marketing ideas that required her full-time job. Mark, my front desk manager, followed protocol. He offered her a seat and called me. I didn't leave my patient session. That afternoon, sunlight warms my face as I open the email I've rewritten 14 times. It's calm, clear, and needed. To my family, as I have said before, I am setting professional boundaries. Healing Hands. Therapy is closed to family employment or management input. All treatments will be billed at standard rates. Business decisions are for my management team only. I am open to rebuilding our personal relationship, but separate from work. My finger hovers over send when Carol, my clinic manager, enters with 2 coffees. Reinforcements, she says, setting one down. She slides her phone across my desk. On the screen is Mom's Facebook post, an old photo from my clinic's opening, her arm around me. The caption reads, "So proud of my daughter Sierra's vision with Healing Hands therapy. We've always believed in her healing touch. Proud mama. Family business. The hashtag stings. And a family business." I click send. They've never paid $1 toward this clinic, I say quietly. Never worked an hour here. Never believed it would succeed. Until it did. People are starting to notice the truth, Carol replies. Dr. Reynolds mentioned it last week when he referred that difficult shoulder case. I look up surprised. He said he always sends patients here because you built something real, not something handed down or gifted, Carol adds, tapping my original business license. He likes how you give credit to your team instead of bragging about yourself. I think back to Friday's staff meeting, when I praised our growth as the result of the team's hard work, not just my vision. I also remember seeing Autumn's friend Kimberly in the waiting room, phone angled suspiciously toward us. That reminds me, I say, pulling up another email. The scholarship fund is approved. Starting next semester, we'll support 2 physical therapy students who need financial help. Carol smiles. Your mother called that wasteful charity when she overheard us talking about it. Exactly why it matters, I reply, standing to stretch. Any news from the accountant about their latest stunt? Your dad tried charm, then intimidation, Carol says. He left only when Denise mentioned harassment charges. Her expression softens. There's something else. She pulls a note from her pocket. Your mother stopped by during lunch. When I said you were at the Children's Hospital Clinic, she left this. The envelope holds a tear-stained letter, full of pleas about family misunderstandings and missing her daughter. The final line asks for a family meeting, on their terms, of course. My phone buzzes. A text from Autumn. Miss you, big sis. Can we talk? Just us? Carol watches me quietly. Your father's letter came yesterday, too. Very formal. He wants family mediation, with his lawyer present. I laugh without humor. The tables have turned. Their friends are asking questions. People are noticing the truth. Through the window, I see 2 of my therapists, both from disadvantaged backgrounds, guiding patients with skill and kindness. The sunlight floods our expanded treatment floor. My vision, my labor, my persistence. What will you tell them? Carol asks. I place the note in my desk drawer, alongside other manipulative letters I've saved. When they're ready for a relationship that doesn't involve using my success, I'll listen. Until then, my priority is protecting what I've built. Later, in the waiting room, I spot a familiar face, one of Autumn's sorority friends who once got unauthorized discounts. Today she waits respectfully, insurance card in hand. The facade is falling apart. 2 weeks later, I arrive at Cornerstone Cafe 20 minutes early. The air smells of coffee and possibility. I pick a corner table with a view of both doors, habits formed from years of waiting for family approval. I set my leather portfolio in front of me, its weight steadying. Inside are texts, emails, and financial records, evidence I've gathered carefully, not out of spite, but with the same method I use for treatment plans. Can I get you something while you wait? The barista asks with a smile. Just black coffee, thanks. My voice sounds calm, though my chest feels tight. The mug arrives, steam curling upward. Through the window, I see them walking across the lot. Dad's shoulders are stiff under his golf polo. Mom fiddles with her pearl necklace. Autumn walks confidently, though her nervous glances betray her. They're dressed in matching cream and tan, a united front. The bell over the door rings as they enter. Their faces shift when they see me. Dad's jaw tightens. Mom's smile freezes. Autumn's eyes dart to the portfolio. Sierra, honey, Mom says, reaching for a hug. I stay seated. She awkwardly pats my shoulder. This is cozy, Dad says as he sits across from me. But family matters should be private, at home. This isn't just family, I reply, tapping the portfolio. This is business. Autumn slides in beside Dad, her perfume filling the air. We brought muffins from your favorite bakery, she says, pushing a bag toward me. I don't touch it. The waitress takes their order and leaves. Dad leans forward, hands clasped. Blood is thicker than water, Sierra. Family stands together, especially in business. Mom squeezes my wrist. We've always been proud of you, sweetie. We tell everyone about our brilliant daughter, the doctor. Physical therapist, I correct. Doctor of physical therapy, Autumn adds quickly, before pulling out a sleek tablet. I've been thinking about our last talk. I came on too strong, so I drafted a new proposal. A consulting role instead of management. 3 days a week, better social media, corporate outreach. Autumn's voice is smooth, rehearsed. I take a slow sip of coffee, letting the bitterness steady me. Before we talk about proposals, you should know something. At the Hendersons' anniversary party, they congratulated me on my family partnership and asked when you all join my clinic. At the word Hendersons, they stiffen. I open my portfolio and reveal a neat stack of papers. They were surprised when I told them you weren't my partners. Dad's face reddens. We never said... I slide printed screenshots toward him. Facebook posts where you called it a family practice. Text from the Wilsons asking about the business Mom mentioned at Bridge Club. Mom's face goes pale. Sierra, it was just pride, was it? I pull out another document. Dr. Reynolds' email. He asked why Dad contacted him about partnership opportunities. Silence stretches across the cafe. The hiss of the espresso machine fills the space. You've been watching us, Autumn says, as if I broke the trust. I've been paying attention, I answer. The same attention I gave to building my practice while you told your friends they could get free treatments. Dad tries to take control. We're getting sidetracked. We're here to discuss Autumn's role. Autumn will have no role in my clinic. My voice is calm, firm. Neither will you or Mom. Mom gasps, hand flying to her throat. After everything we've done for you? Everything you've done. I pull out a spreadsheet. Here's a list of free treatments I gave this family. 3 years. Market value, $42,735. And here, loans I gave Autumn in my first 2 years of practice when I could barely pay rent. $1,684.50, still unpaid. Autumn's face twists. You said those were gifts. I said we'd figure it out later. It's later. Dad's mask slips. You can't expect repayment after all you've what? I cut him off, voice steady. After you missed my doctoral hooding ceremony for Autumn's sorority fundraiser? After you told Dr. Wilson I was only playing at business until I married? After you dismissed my clinic opening as just another job? I set both palms flat on the table. These are my terms for any future relationship. My business decisions are mine alone. No advice, no contacts, no interference. Family treatments will be billed at full price. Stop claiming you are partners or owners in my clinic. Mom's false composure breaks. This time the tears are real. You can't mean this. We're family. Family respects boundaries, I reply. Family celebrates instead of stealing credit. Dad's voice hardens. This is absurd. We never thought you'd succeed on your own. We were trying to secure your future. The truth slips out. They never believed in me. Autumn's mask cracks. It's not fair. You get everything, the respect, the title, the business. I'm stuck in a cubicle while you play hero. There it is. Envy and resentment, bare and raw. I close my portfolio with a sharp snap and rise. I built everything I have while supporting this family financially and emotionally. I'm not playing at anything, and I'm done being invisible. I place exact change for my coffee on the table and walk away. Behind me, Mom's sobs, Dad's harsh whisper, chairs scraping. I don't look back. For the first time, I move forward without needing their approval. The weight of their expectations falls away as I step into the sunlight, taller than when I arrived. 1 year later, I stand at the window of my expanded clinic, watching the Denver skyline glow in afternoon light. The view matches the change inside me. "Dr. Bennett, your 3 o'clock is ready," Melissa, my lead therapist, says, clipboard in hand. It's Mrs. Abernathy's final session. Perfect timing, I smile, warmth spreading through me. The waiting room bustles with life, a sharp contrast to the tiny space where I first began. Now patients sit in comfortable chairs beneath framed community service awards, hanging beside my first business license. Our waiting list is 2 months long, a sign of the reputation we've built. Mrs. Abernathy, an older woman with bright eyes and a curved spine from years of work, smiles as I enter. "There she is," she says proudly, the miracle worker herself. I laugh, setting her chart aside. "The miracle was your dedication to the home exercises." "Nonsense," she waves her hand. "My grandson says you're the best in Denver, and he researches everything." As I guide her through her last stretches, I catch my reflection in the mirror. My posture has changed, no longer tight and defensive. I stand taller, steady in my worth. Later, I welcome 3 new graduates to my mentorship program. They sit around the table with bright eyes, full of the same drive I once had in my late-night study sessions. "The most important thing I can teach you isn't a technique," I tell them. "It's knowing your value. In this profession, you give constantly. Make sure what you give is respected." After they leave, I check the numbers for our pro bono program. Now 15% of our work goes to underserved patients. Last year, that would have scared me. Now it gives me purpose. My phone buzzes. Leah, my closest friend and leader of our women's support group, texts, "Ready for tonight?" Your turn to share. Nerves flutter in my stomach. Tonight I'll tell my full story, family struggles included for the first time. The thought is frightening, but also freeing. Before leaving, I check my personal email. Mom has sent photos of her volunteer work at the community garden, her third kind, pressure-free message this week. Small steps, but real ones. Dad hasn't written yet. Some wounds take more time. Another email announces Autumn's new job at a corporate office, finally unrelated to my clinic. No extra exclamation marks this time, a sign of her slow independence. That evening, I arrive at Leah's home for our monthly dinner. Unlike my parents' formal dining room, this table is warm and alive with honest conversation. My chosen family of colleagues and friends pass dishes, laugh, and heal together. "To Sierra," Melissa says, raising her glass, "who taught us that standing your ground isn't selfish, it's necessary." Applause surrounds me. I think of the scholarship fund I've started, the boundary-setting workshop I'll teach next month, and the launch of our new rehabilitation program tomorrow. After dinner, I step onto Leah's porch. The mountains rise strong and steady against the horizon, like the boundaries I've learned to protect. "You look peaceful," Leah says. "I am," I breathe deeply. I finally know I can heal patients without losing myself. Tomorrow I'll treat an elderly man with the same care I once gave family members who only took. The difference is, he will look me in the eye and say thank you, and I will know I've been seen. "I'm Sierra Bennett," I whisper to the mountains, "and I heal people who value the healing."